Gang, 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 gang. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? My name is Alexis, and you are watching Black Girl Guidance. Today, I am coming to y'all with a live video on the Black Girl Guidance Instagram. This live will be uploaded later onto the Black Girl Guidance YouTube channel. Please watch it on the YouTube. If you come across this, watch it on the YouTube. Click out of this, go click the link in my bio and watch this video on the YouTube channel instead of on the Instagram. But also share it on the Instagram. Run it up on the Instagram. I'm trying to get out there, y'all. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to try it out, doing it horizontally. So y'all definitely tell me, next time or whatever, like, bro, do it, don't do it horizontally, it's weird, or whatever. I'm gonna just try this out and try to upload it to my YouTube, and if I don't like it horizontally, then I'll know. Okay, so for this segment, I'm going to be coming to y'all with a Sickle Cell Sunday. And by Sickle Cell Sunday, what I mean is I'm going to just be updating y'all on the state of my health with my sickle cell and just the state of my health in general. Just for my own knowledge, for me to track, and also just to share about my journey with sickle cell. I know many people don't know much about sickle cell, and there may also be some people on here that have sickle cell and want to, build community, and that's what I'm here for. So if you have sickle cell and you see this, you're going to be like, wow, this girl is wilding. This girl's out here wilding. And I am out here wilding, y'all. I admit to it. So, I do not have a hematologist right now. I do not have a hematologist, which, if you do not know what sickle cell is, a hematologist is basically a sickle cell specialist. A hematologist is who you go to specifically for your sickle cell. Of course, you have a primary care physician, or if you're younger, a pediatrician that you go to for just general needs. If you go to if you need a vaccine, if you are feeling a little sick regularly. But a hematologist specifically deals with sickness you may deal with due to your sickle cell as an effect of your sickle cell, such as, of course, pain crisis, but also just managing your sickle cell, tracking your hemoglobin, tracking other blood counts, and just tracking any other symptoms that could arise because of your sickle cell. I know you're probably thinking, seems like it's important for you to have one, Alexis. To be honest, I think I may have an internal thing with hospitals, I guess, and just doctors, and like a distrust and just feeling like it's not important, and like just feeling like my health is not important. Like, I don't need to go to the I don't need to keep track of the doctor. Like, it'll be fine. And so, like, I had a doctor in Nashville. I had a hematologist who was actually my hematologist all throughout my life. His name is Dr. Michael Devon. I think it's okay that I say his name. If not, I would delete this video. But he's a well-known, world-renowned hematologist. And I knew him when I was in, from middle school below, in St. Louis at Washington University. He then transferred to Vanderbilt in Nashville, and I ended up going to school at Vanderbilt partially because of him. And so he was my doctor. But it was just a journey for me throughout school. I would say freshman year I was really healthy, probably the healthiest I had ever been at that point in my life, because I was eating so much, eating so many healthy meals 3 times a day, eating these healthy meals. And so that definitely affected my health. That definitely affected my health in a positive way. I would say sophomore year, I was being a busybody and I was eating less. When I say busybody, I mean I was a Vuceptor, which if you go to Vanderbilt, you know what that means. If not, it doesn't really matter. But basically like a peer mentor to the incoming first years, and it was a lot of running around for me. It was a lot to juggle for me, and my health suffered, on top of the fact that Vanderbilt lowers the meal plan every year that you're there with seniority. So I was eating less food, plus I was running around more. Not a good equation. And at that point, in hindsight, is probably when my pain due to my asthma with sickle cell really exacerbated, because I was that kid that in high school, I didn't do gym because when my lungs started bracing, I would begin to have sickle cell pain. And this is like, let's put a pin in the asthma thing right now. So sophomore year, there was a lot of hospitalizations, a lot of struggles. Sophomore year, my doctor tried to get me to start on hydroxyurea. I started on it for like, I think I took it during Christmas break, and like I was feeling so tired. And then like when I came to school, I was feeling so tired, and I was like, nah, bro, like it's a no for me. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And so, yeah, like I wasn't on hydroxyurea, so I still was having issues with pain. My pain definitely would come from mostly being cold, or like a lot of activity. And again, like the asthma being exacerbated. But like being cold could happen anywhere. So I go into junior year. I'm doing a little less. I'm a little less stressed. Things are doing okay, but I am getting sick every now and again. And so I wanted, honestly, my doctor did a wager with me. I wanted to go abroad to Israel. I had already went to Italy the following, like the summer before, and the previous summer, and I felt great when I was in Italy. I did not get sick at all. There was about one time that I felt a little sore, and that was because it was raining. But other than that, like, it was so warm. I never felt like the sun was just always on me, healing me every day. So I never really felt like, oh, like like I'm super sick, like I'm in pain. Like I never felt like that when I was in Italy. I was overexerting myself, but I was not pushing myself past the limits, because the trip was definitely something that could have overexerted me, but I was clear on the fact that I did not want to push myself past whatever my limits were. I don't know why my screen keeps shutting down while I'm talking. Like I'm sorry about that, y'all. But regardless, so he basically made a wager with me, because the summer after I went to Italy, I wanted to go to Israel. And he was like, I'll clear for you to go to Israel if you take this hydroxyurea. Just because, like, at this point, enough is enough. I was definitely still having hospitalizations my junior year, but I do not think it was at the point that it was my sophomore year. And he was just like, enough is enough. You should want a higher quality of living. And at that point, I was just like, look, he's right. Israel is just one thing, but I have plans to post-grad, go abroad for a year, for more than a year. And I was like, we need to get this together, because I'm going to be going abroad by myself, no support system, and I need to feel safe to do so. And so I took hydroxyurea, and I was living my life. On top of the fact that before I went to Israel, I also broke my foot. I slipped and fell and broke my foot, which is another story. If y'all would like that story time, please let me know, because I'm interested in getting to the story times. I have a lot of, crazy thing is I have a lot of stories, a lot. I just don't tell them. But yeah, I broke my foot. And so I was in Israel living it up, and I was feeling great. I wasn't feeling any pain. Sometimes we get a little sore, but I think it was mostly due to you walking and things like that. So by the time I got back my senior year, I was beginning to realize, which I think I had kind of begun to realize the beginning of junior year, but there wasn't much that happened about it. I was beginning to realize that my asthma was the issue, and that my asthma was leading to more sickle cell pain. Because before I even could go to Israel, my doctor had did a pulmonary function test on me. And when he did those tests, he noticed that, like, the amount of oxygen flowing in my body, as in, like, if you use a pulsometer on me, for those that y'all don't know about, medicine, like, my oxygen level would be at 99%. So I didn't need, like, an oxygen tank, but my literal lung capacity, meaning how big of a breath I can take, was extremely low, to the point that he told me that, like, you have the lungs of a 65-year-old smoker, which I have never smoked, and clearly I'm not 65 years old. But that was kind of when, like, he didn't want me to go to Israel. He had me go see a specialist for asthma, and the asthma specialist was like, oh, like, she's doing fine. She should be fine to go. But it's really the capacity of my lungs, not am I getting oxygen through them, if that makes sense. Very, like my lungs are very constricted. When, like, a normal lung should be like a full balloon. Mine is sitting at grape. And so it was around, like, that time, senior year, going to senior year, that I realized, like, okay, my real issue is the asthma, and the asthma has been exacerbating my experience with sickle cell. And so, but other than that, at the point of me getting on hydroxyurea, I was not having pain anymore. I wasn't really having pain, and so that was good. But okay, that was good. But I still, because I was not having pain, I then began to realize, oh, there are all these other elements of my health, including my mental health, that I'm not really taking care of. I might have dabbled in taking care of them. I might have went to a couple therapy sessions. I might have seen the lung specialist a couple times, but I'm not putting the pressure when these issues have been exacerbating over time. But because I was so constantly having a pain crisis, I was just so worried about not being in pain and that being my standard of living that I wasn't even thinking about, okay, when I'm not in pain, how am I living? Are my lungs okay? Is my mental okay? Is other parts of my body, my hips, other things okay? So that's when I kind of started to investigate other parts of my health, and I think that's where I'm at now. But I wasn't really concerned about my hematologist, and I really didn't utilize him like I could have when I was there. Then I got here during COVID, and I didn't ever transfer care. I tried to, and I just kind of thought, well, you know what, like, I'm healthy, whatever, we'll worry about that when we worry about it, which is not the thing to do. But now it's getting to a point that I only have been prescribed hydroxyurea because of my hematologist. And at this point, I'm about to be out of hydroxyurea. And as I just told y'all, hydroxyurea is the reason why I'm feeling so much better right now. So we need to figure this out. We need to figure it out. So one thing I'm doing with my health right now is trying to figure out who is my hematologist. They need to be tracking my numbers when it comes to what is my hemoglobin. Of course, I feel like my hemoglobin is great because I feel great. But what actually is my hemoglobin? Where are my levels at? And should I be continuing to be on hydroxyurea? Should my dose be up? Should it be lowered? All these things that, they do. Also, I need to figure out when it comes to lungs, what is going on with my lungs. I believe I have COPD. My doctor believed I have not COPD, but something similar to it. I don't know what it's called, but I definitely have a lung issue that is not asthma at this point. My lungs, it's not asthma. It's not that. I, on a daily basis, cannot, take a large deep breath like I should be able to. I have, a lot of mucus on a daily basis, which is, why, for one, COVID was very scary to me because it's girl, y'all saying mucus is how y'all know you got COVID. Girl, I always have I always have mucus. I'm very nasal. My voice is very nasal in general. If you speak to me, my voice is very nasal. So, yeah, that's one thing. I think also my stomach health. So before I even came to high school, I had my gallbladder removed. And I would say since around junior year to now, I've been having random stomach issues. And so it's is it because I need to remove the dairy or is it a little more? What's going on with my stomach? I've actually had some tests run about that recently, and all the tests have said nothing is going on. So I'm guessing it's just more of a digestive thing, and hopefully that's all it is. Also, my gallbladder removal surgery is a whole nother thing. If y'all would like that story time, please let me know because they just messed that whole thing up. I'm fine, but it was a mess. I'm trying to think what else. Okay. Also, so I do suffer from avascular necrosis due to my sickle cell. And so with avascular necrosis, because of the lack of the blood flow in the body, your joints begin to break down, meaning the actual bone of the joint. So mine is the worst in my hips. My hip bones, it's hard for me to use my hip flexors, not the muscles, the hip flexors, but because literally I cannot flex my hip because the bone, the hip socket is a ball, and it's in this ring and it's moving around. But mine, mine is my knuckles almost. It's not a full ball. It's kind of rigid because it is deteriorating. So as it should just be easily going through and going just doing this, because mine is rigid, it's knocking up against that other bone and it's painful. So that's one thing. I also believe I do have a vascular necrosis in my ankles, and in other parts of my body. So that's something that I know y'all could probably hear a lot of madness in the background. I don't know what that is. But that is another health thing that like I'm not really tracking right now because I don't really know what I'm going to do. Like I don't really even know what the like what is to be done about that, but I do believe I have it in my wrist, in my knees, and in my ankles. Probably in my shoulders too, but probably any joints you can think of, I probably have it there. But I know for a fact that I have it in my ankles because when I broke my foot, the emergency room doctor, which emergency room doctors and their incompetence and lack of empathy is a whole nother video. If y'all like a video on that, please let me know as well. But the emergency room doctor, that one was not rude to me, but they assumed that it was my ankle that was broken when I broke my foot, but that's because the bone had deteriorated so much in my ankle and he was not familiar with that. So that was what that was. But I didn't even know I had issues with my ankle until that whole thing with my foot. So I don't really know.
I think it was him, her wife. I think it was his wife. Yeah, because you know what? She did everything for her. She made sure that, I don't know how she controlled the time to where it wasn't terrible. Like, she was like,
Well, I guess I'm gonna download this video onto my phone, edit it, and then upload it to YouTube because I can't have peace, y'all. I can't have peace.
you know what? I would tell you.
Back to me trying to have peace, y'all. So, yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, that's one thing. I also think I am trying to work on my mental health. I did not realize until the first time I ever went to therapy that me being in pain with sickle cell and like dealing with sickle cell in general leads to issues with my mental health. Clearly being in pain all the time and hurting literally affects your mental health and affects your irritability and things like that and affects your mood. But also just different things like trauma I've faced from whether it be people in the hospital, people in my family, directly related to my sickle cell, directly related to ableism. That is a discovery I'm having very recently, definitely later senior year, past graduation, realizing that those things affect my mental health. So I'm also trying to go on a mental health journey. I was going to a therapist. Things have been quite hectic for me outside of my sickle cell, and so I was not really keeping in touch with her. But that's something that I have to also think about, is that just as like I don't want to be in physical pain, I should put the same pressure that I put on physical pain onto mental pain. So as soon as I feel physical pain, I'm like, where's the medicine? What do I need to do? But when it comes to emotional pain, I'm not addressing it. I'm like, oh, I'm at a good medium. I'm at a good medium. I could possibly go left or go right in any instance, but I'm chilling right now. I don't like, therapy is not an issue. Therapy is not a pressing issue. But that's something else I'm trying to do and hold myself accountable for in the new year. So I'm sharing it with y'all so that hopefully y'all can like check in on me. I may not do these every week. I think I may do these every month maybe, and kind of just tell y'all where I'm at on those different parts of my health journey. But definitely, in the short term, looking to learn more about, what's going on with my lungs, what's going on with the hematologist situation and me finding a hematologist. And then finally, what's going on when it comes to my mental health. Yeah, I think that is all intertwined when it comes to my sickle cell journey, when it comes to my health journey, and getting my health together in this new year. Based on numerology and things that I've read, this year is important for me when it comes to like doing the work that will help me when it comes to my health. And so I'm trying to do breathing exercises every day. I'm trying to stretch every day, trying to eat better. and also get in a different environment, both physically and mentally, for the betterment of my mental health, which will, of course, positively affect my physical health. But yeah, that is all I have for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope this video is not too crazy when I try to edit it. And have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining. And try your hardest to make your little corner of the universe as great as you can. Bye-bye.